This time around, I had the great pleasure of talking to French world-class climber Nicolas Pelorson. In this episode, we discuss his ascent of Soudain Seul, possibly Font's first 9A, as well as climbing technique, the mental game, training aspects, the relationship between grades and sponsors, social media, and much more. Enjoy. But if you look for like completely new, like ouverture, like a new, how are there still people looking for new blocks and stuff?
I don't really know.
Oh.
I'm super bad to find new boulders, and I think some people, not some strong climbers, but some climbers love to walk on the forest and cross all of the forest to find some gems. And they used to call some strong climber like Olivier Le Breton. They say, "Oh, I find a super cool things, and you should go to climb it."
Nice.
And Olivier goes, he try and he opened, but strong climbers who open new boulders, it's not them.
They who find.
They will find.
I think that's how it is a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I know also in it's the same in Sweden where I'm from.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's like you say, someone who's out walking, and then if it's hard, then they call someone. So you need to have some contacts to know.
Exactly.
Know people as well.
Yeah.
But so one thing I was curious about asking you is because I always think about it when I am in Fontainebleau, because it's quite different from climbing in Sweden.
Yeah.
In my home crag, it's like a lot of crystals.
Okay.
Still technical, I think, but a way different. But what do you think it means to climb well?
To climb well?
Yeah.
For me, the one climb well is to climb some difficult stuff. But because if you want to climb some difficult stuff, you need to climb efficient, precise. So you need to climb well. And if you don't climb well, you don't do some hard stuff.
Yeah.
So the best climber who climb, it's the one who can climb the hardest stuff, and is the one who climb the better.
Yeah. But don't you also think, like sometimes you can see someone, maybe if they've climbed a lot indoors, and they, like, probably if they're a bit sloppy with like footwork and stuff, you can still see people get up like, I mean, sometimes I see people climbing an overhang and they look super strong, and then they mantle up to the slab. Just walk to the top, and it's like Bambi on ice.
Yes, they can do anything.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Like, I think there's something to maybe climbing smooth or having a bit of...
Yeah, we have a lot, especially in Paris, because we have lot of climbing gym, and climbers never go outside, and when they go outside, like in Fontainebleau, they can't do anything. And I think if they used to climb more and more outside, the problem will be solved. It's just a question of use.
Climbing a lot.
Climbing a lot outside. But it's pretty hard also to climb just with your arm, and people who climb technically can't do that they do in climbing gym. So
I guess that's true. I also noticed this we talked a little, like on slab climbing,
Yeah.
because the like the most slabs, especially in I think where I come from in Shigakul, you stand on crystals. So almost always it's about just trusting the foot enough
Yeah.
and standing up. But when you climb, I think harder slabs in Fontainebleau, I've realized that you actually need to pull like you can't just stand on the foothold.
Yeah.
You need to pull like really, really, really hard on like the small. I guess I didn't really think about that before.
Yeah.
It's,
You need strong finger for slab in Fontainebleau.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah. It's not just like how much can you trust the foot, but it's also just how hard can you pull at the same time. Um, but also this about climbing well, because I think like climbing technique, it's not so obvious what is climbing technique, because I think climbing is it's not like a tennis or a karate or something like this where you just do one movement. It's like always different in climbing. Like, have you ever trained? I know you've been in the national team of France.
Yeah.
Did you train like climbing technique then, and what did that?
In each boulder that you want to climb, you have a physical part and a technical part. So when you climb just a boulder, you train the physical and the technical. So for me, the technical part of the climbing, you can work just when you climb a boulder, and you climb a lot of different boulder, and you will increase the technical part of the sport. And if you want to train specifically the technical part, like if I want to train specifically the physical part, I do strengthening. It's pretty hard, I think, because it's so complex. You can't isolate a movement that you want to climb.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea to train specifically the good parts. For example, I see some people who do some games with only the feet to try to
Yeah.
play the feet, but for me the best way is to climb different boulders and to try to climb slabs, overhang, and different styles. And it takes a lot of time, but after a lot of times you will get a good technique.
So it's more so about climbing a lot and like, but is it also like thinking how you climb
Yeah,
and like
it depends. It depends. Some climber need to think about the climb, think about her climb,
yeah,
and some other it's just a feeling, and they do what they just let the body do,
yeah,
and they can. They don't need to learn about our climbing,
yeah.
and yeah.
That's quite kind of interesting, because I have for me I think it's a lot of feeling, but I also try and understand what I'm doing. Like if like it feels this way, but I'm actually moving here, so I should think about like being in this position when I go for the hold.
Yeah,
But I have a friend of mine who it's like he only thinks of the feeling, like how it feels. He doesn't like talk so much about like do exactly like this. It's more of a
yeah, I think it depends when you start to climb. If you start to climb earlier, you don't need to think about what you need to do. You have the feeling, and if you start maybe not when you was a kid, it's harder to have the feeling, and you need to
yeah,
think about what you need to do.
yeah, yeah. That's true. But I think it's also probably different personalities maybe,
Yeah, of course, of course.
because I know some people are super systematic and they
Yeah,
want to, but I think you can go too much. I feel like you can go too much in both ways. If
Yeah,
you're like sometimes you just need a lot of the time it's like you need to stop thinking.
exactly. And just climb and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But me, for example, when I want to coach some debutant, some novice climbers,
Yeah.
I'm super bad because I
Yeah.
have just a feeling, and I don't know why I can climb this one, and why my core is this position, and why I put my foot there.
Yeah.
It just, yeah, I just climb, and
Yeah.
I can't explain why.
Yeah.
And when I coach, I need to explain, and I just don't know. You try to go straight up, and
Yeah.
I can't explain, and it's a problem. And
Yeah.
for example, friends who are yeah, maybe not stronger like me, but they start after me at 16 years old. They can explain and they can say, "Oh, that's why you can climb this boulder because your foot was too high."
Right. I've had that experience as well. I started coaching at a climbing gym. And it's so weird when you like when you try and justify like, oh, you should do this, or like my feeling tells me I have to like go and touch the holds, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, you should do this,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then you're like, why should I do that? And I'm like, I don't know, just
I don't
do
know.
it, see what happens. Um, so I think this is interesting because there was one coach for the Swedish national team some ways back, and he used to say that it was better to climb one problem 100 times than to climb 100 problems one time.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree with this?
Yeah, I really agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done this?
Yeah, I recommend to do a lot of not so much on-site climbing, because when you do just on-site climbing in many different boulders or many different routes, it's true that you do many different movements, but you never integrate the good position, because you do one time and then it's finished, so the body can't learn from what you do. And if you want to learn a movement, the body need to repeat and repeat a lot of the same movement. It's exactly the same if I want to learn maybe a multiplication table. You need to repeat, and then it became an automatism.
Right.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
An automatism, and it's easy to recitate. But if you just see one time the table, you need to learn a lot to remember, and you don't remember, and it's not automatical. And if you want that your climbing is efficient, your climbing need to be automatic.
Yeah, you can't stop and think about. But yeah, that it's interesting that you can, because there's no like one movement that practice just this one thing. But if you practice one climb, or like practice many climbs a lot of times over a long period of time, somehow you get. Because I guess there are some patterns in climbing, like there are certain moves that like that are similar maybe, and you learn those by repetition.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's why climb after work, it's a good idea, especially when you start to climb.
How do you mean after work?
After work, it's not on site, but to try the same boulder during many sessions.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you meant after like going to work.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good idea too.
Yeah.
But no, when you start climbing, people say always to you, you need to do many stuff only on start climbing to increase your all the movements you can do.
Yeah.
But it's not the best idea for me. For me, it's exactly the inverse.
Yeah.
You need to work on few movements, but to work nice on few movements. And
Yeah.
when you get it right, you can pass on other movements. And that's the most efficient way for me. So climb after work.
Yeah.
It's a good way to do that.
So the next thing I wanted to ask you, which like about the project, you climbed this Soudain Seul, Big Island Basis. How do you say it? Soudain
Seul.
Seul. Okay. It was first climbed by Simon Lorenzi.
Yeah.
And then you did the second ascent, and it's probably one of the hardest climbs in the world in Fontainebleau. Maybe it's 9A, maybe not. Maybe we'll talk about that. But what was like the process trying this thing from the beginning? Like, why did you choose to climb or try that boulder, and then how did it continue?
For the beginning, the unstart is V15 boulder problem, and it was maybe the most famous problem of Fontainebleau.
The stand start.
Yeah, the stand start, the island. And it's one of the most famous problem. And of course, when I came in Fontainebleau, I know this boulder and I want to do this boulder, the unstart. And in Fontainebleau also, everybody knows that the seat start is possible, and that it was the biggest project of Fontainebleau. It was a mythical project, Fontainebleau. Everybody talk about this project every time. So one time I want to do the unstart, and I do it pretty quickly, like 3 sessions. And so I immediately want to try the seat start. I saw a video of Jan Hoyer who do the first part, so the link from the seat start to join the unstart.
Yeah.
And so I was sure it's possible, because if it's possible to join the unstart, it's of course possible to rate point the boulder.
Yeah.
So I start to try it, and I was pretty surprised because to join the unstart, it's not so difficult that I expect. And
how do you like to get to climb from the sit into the stand?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
This link, it's maybe V12
or
something like that. And so when I saw that, I directly say to myself, oh, I can do this climb, and I will do this climb.
All right. And then it wasn't so easy, maybe.
No.
To do the whole...
Not so easy at all, because this boulder is super strange. You never know why, but sometimes, for example, the first part is with knee bar, and sometimes the knee bar slips every time. You can't do the move with the knee bar, it slips, and you don't know why. And the next session, you go again, and the knee bar is not a problem at all. You can't fall on the knee bar, and you don't know why. So
it's not. It has it to do with friction in, or something, or is it just something else?
Yeah, it's something with friction, but I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes the friction looks super bad, and I think to myself, oh, I can't climb today, and it works super nice, and don't know why. It's about the friction of the rubber of the knee pad and the friction of the sandstone. So it's super complicated to.
I mean, just the friction of sandstone normally, like grabbing holds, is it's a mystery, I think. I never understand. I have not climbed there so much, but I have been here a few trips and climbed a fair bit. but I don't understand anything. Sometimes it's just impossible, and you think it's gonna be good. And
Yeah, I live in Fontainebleau. I arrived in Fontainebleau 5 years ago, and no, I can understand a little bit.
a little, okay.
But just a little bit, and it take me 5 years.
Yeah. Like, what is it you learn about the friction? Can you say it? Or?
Yeah, the main thing I learned is that it's really different for each people, and it depends on the softness of your skin.
Right.
Yeah, for some people, when it's 0 degrees and with a dry weather, it's just perfect. And for example, for me, just impossible to climb.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When it's a cold and sunny day, every climber say, "Oh, conditions are perfect. You should climb." But for me, I can't climb. I just dry fire, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And with my skin, when it's super humid, it's in this case that it's the better.
I also because I have quite soft skin, I think. And the first time, or one of the first times I was in Fontainebleau, we were 3 guys living in a van, going. But my friend had really dry skin, maybe more like you. And I didn't know very much about climbing at all then. So, like he said, like, oh, it's good now, and he was a bit better than me, so I looked up to him and tried to climb the same things. And it didn't work at all for me, and I didn't understand.
Yeah, you think, oh, you are a fucking machine.
Yes, yes.
How can you do that with this condition?
But, yes. And for a long time, like, I didn't understand at all. And that's, I mean, especially if you have a big project, I think a lot of it is like the mental part also you need to, because if you feel like you're doing really badly and you don't understand why, you just think that, oh, I'm really bad. And then you're not going to feel better the next session and like believe in yourself. So I think maybe understanding some things like that make a big difference, so you don't...
A huge difference for the performance.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it is like not... Or because you always want to feel like you make small progress steps, I guess. And if you understand that, okay, it was bad for me today, I don't need to be so harsh on myself with maybe that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. From the beginning, when you tried Big Island Essays, did you think that you had, like, were you strong enough from the beginning? Do you think you could physically do the boulder?
Yeah, I was pretty sure, but I know, I knew that it will take a lot of times, but physically, it looks not so hard because you do a V12 and maybe a V14, and yeah, it's hard, but with times, you can imagine that it could work, really. And the start, it's not super physical. It's more about knee pad and friction and technical. So I think to myself, if I can optimize the first part, I'm pretty sure I can do the end. And start.
But so, like, the first thought wasn't like, I need to get stronger or anything like that. It was more trying it a lot and getting the...
Yeah, both to get stronger and to climb this boulder a lot to get a good feeling and to secure power from the onstart.
Yeah, and how did you prepare? What sort of training did I know in this video? There's a video when you do you talk a bit about the training. Maybe you could talk a bit about that. What did you...
The prepare first things. It's that I only climb in this boulder 3 or 4 months of the year, because the other month the weather is too hot or too cold. And during the months who are too hot or too cold, you can train specifically at the home. And I try a lot big muscles with strengthening, like I do pull-up, push-ups, deadlift, a lot of exercises, and then I try to climb as much as possible in this boulder or boulders who seems like this boulder.
Okay.
It means like compression boulders.
Yeah.
And then when condition getting better, I try the boulder, and my training was to do lot of times the handstand, because I need to be really great on the handstand, and then I can imagine to do it from the seat start.
Yeah.
For example, I did like 100 times the handstand.
Yeah, wow.
or more.
Wow.
Some session I did 20 times the handstand.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important not to try the boulder in bad conditions?
It depends. If you try in bad condition, it can be super boring, and you can just give up and say it's too hard, too difficult for me.
Yeah.
And in better condition, you will arrive better. So it's not a good idea. But if you know that it's bad condition and that it will be super hard, and that if you don't arrive at this day, it's not a problem, and you need to keep the confidence.
Yeah.
In this case, you can climb in bad condition and try to adjust some movement and to get some feelings.
It's interesting that the key is to like know that it's bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so much about the confidence and like not breaking yourself. But I am a bit more curious about the training. So did you like was it like specific training for Big Island, or was it just I know you said some, but like the exercises and stuff, did you like specify them for like this problem, or was it just like the same things you did before when you train as well?
It's more specific for this boulder, because, for example, you don't need a strong finger. You have no cramps in this boulder, so I never do campus board or longboarding, and but you need lot of compression strength.
Yeah,
that's why I do lot of exercises for that, for pectoralis, and for getting a meilleure compression.
Yeah. So and when you train like pull-ups and deadlifts and stuff, is it like max strength, or is it more how do you say, more repetitions?
It depends of the time, but I like to do a lot of repetition. I know climbers prefer to do max strength, but for me it's not a good idea, because if you do max strength, you don't have increase of the volume of your muscle. Your muscle doesn't increase, but the nerve of your muscle increase. So when you do max strength, you increase your strength for a little time, and when you stop to do strengthening, the strength decrease really quick. And if you do a lot of repetition, you have an hypertrophy of your muscle.
Yeah, it grows.
It grows a lot, and then if you stop, the muscle it's bigger than before.
It doesn't disappear as fast.
Yeah, it doesn't disappear as fast. So for me, it's good idea to increase the specificity of your muscle, and maybe then, but really, when you want to try the boulder, really short of this period, you can do maximal strong, but it needs to be really short, because if you do like 4 months before, the strength you do, it's useless.
Like how long before do you do the max strength? Is it like even before a session or before the season when you know it's gonna?
Just before the season, that you, for me. Yeah, like
1 month.
Yeah, 1 month ago, like you do a cycle of 3 weeks. You train 3 weeks, your maximal strong. Then you take 1 week rest, and then you have 1 month with a lot of power.
Okay. And then you need to, and after this 1 month, do you start over again? Or how? Then you do like hypertrophy again?
Or maximal strength again.
Oh, maximal, okay.
Again, and then you can do another salve of attempts. But if you try, if you do maximal strength and then you try 3 months the same boulder without do anything, any strength thing, your maximal strength decrease.
Okay. So when you say like hypertrophy, it's for like the biceps. You do what did you say? Pull-ups, push-ups.
Yeah, for example, I do pull-ups like 12 repetitions of pull-ups. With
1 arm pull-ups.
No, 2 arms.
2 arm, okay.
Yeah, 12 repetitions. Keep calm. Yeah, 12 repetitions and 1 minute rest, and I repeat maybe 15 times.
And do you have some weight then?
Yeah, I start with weight, and then I decrease the weight little by little, and then
And is it like the last repetition is really difficult? Is
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
The last repetition need to be really difficult every time.
So is that the same for pull-ups and the deadlift? And, and no finger training, or this time
for big iron it's useless.
Useless.
Finger training is useless, and I have some good ability of finger training, and if I don't train finger training, I'm good enough. Especially for big iron.
Yeah. If you would have a different project that was more fingery, would you do some sort of hypertrophy training for the fingers then during that period, do you think?
I never do, to be honest, finger training, because my finger strength is always at the same point, and my fingers are never the limiting factor.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, one time I tried to hangboard before a cycle of suspension training, and I was maybe at 10 seconds on 1 centimeter a crimp.
Yeah.
And then I do the cycle and I test again, and I was at exactly the same. And so, and in the other case, one time I do the same. I hang one arm and the 1 centimeter crimp, 10 seconds, and then I do a cycle of strengthening, but strengthening like biceps, pectoralis, big muscles. And I train again, and I try it. And I was at 20 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because you strengthened the other muscles.
Exactly.
But do you think that is because like you were able to hang in a better position? Or?
Yeah, because it's a chain. Your arm is a chain, and the strength of your arm have the strength of the weaker part of your arm.
You're limited by the weakest
the weakest part
in the
and
chain.
For me, it's not fingers, not at all. It's
so you're just trying to get your body up to the level of your
Exactly.
fingers.
It's exactly that.
But so not even finger training in this max period, like before 1 month before, no finger training.
No, for me, it's
Okay.
useless for me.
Have you ever done finger training or no?
Maybe 2 or 3 cycle, but I realize that it's useless for me.
Useless. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, but it depends. Huh? For some other, maybe like you,
Yeah.
it's strong thing is useless and finger training is super important.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is about what how you fail on a boulder. If
Yeah,
you can't hold on, like when you fall, is it because you can't hold on to the hold or because you can't reach
exactly.
the next hold maybe?
Mm.
So then the next part in the process, if we go back to Big Island, the last part might be a big part, but when you have pretty good strength and you probably know that you can do it, it becomes all mental, I would assume.
Yeah,
And it's this we talked about, that you need to stop thinking maybe.
yeah, exactly. It's the hardest part, but the most interesting part is the
Yeah.
part when you can do the boulder, but you need the perfect attempt.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, for me, I need to keep calm, and it's not a good idea to go every day in the boulder. You need to do a lot of different boulder to keep the motivation.
Different the climbs like in the forest.
Yeah, exactly. And me, I don't want to be upset by a boulder.
Upset.
Upset,
Or,
yeah. Like not too much focus, because then the pressure is so high.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to do a lot of things to decrease the pressure, like to climb easier stuff and go maybe just one time each week at the boulder to try to red point it.
Yeah. So it's always enjoyable, so you look forward to.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be very good if you don't look forward to going there. That would be. But I know from my experience, when I have a project or something, it's a little bit of a paradox maybe, because you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, like you said. But still, you have to really want to get to the top, to give everything, but at the same time, maybe not thinking about that at all. Do you recognize this, that it's two things that sort of go against each other? That you want to get to the top, but at the same time, you cannot think about getting to the top, because then you climb worse.
Exactly. Yeah, I recognize a lot.
Yeah.
So you just need to stop thinking about the top and just thinking about your climbing and just thinking about your movements. And it's easy to say, but hard to do.
It's a lot easier said than done. But did you find any? Was there any trick to it, or was it just to relax and be calm and try it a lot?
Yeah, just to be calm and to when I fall, I just try to be, oh, it's okay, I will do next time, no problem.
Yeah.
And if I don't do in a session, I don't try to, it's only climbing. I don't, it's not a problem. And like that, I can take the thing pretty nice.
Yeah, that sounds good. When you worked the climb with, I guess, did you work it with Simon Lorenzi and some other?
Yeah, a lot.
Was there like a competition?
No, not really. No, not at all. Because no, we try just together. Yeah, for sure. We all want the first ascent, but we just Yeah, it was just a big pleasure to climb together. And when I go to the boulder and I saw Simon climb, I was just super happy to climb with him.
Yeah. Nice. Because you also did it completely different. Or I guess he found a shorter person
Yeah,
method
yeah.
to cross to the...
He can do like us. Yeah, he's too short.
Yeah. I have to talk a little bit about the grade also, maybe. First, what do you think about like grades in general in climbing? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing or necessary evil?
For sure, it's a good thing because you can choose the boulders that you want to climb with the grade. It's an important element, and yeah, for me, grades are as two utilities. The first of all is to know in which boulder I go. Yeah, if I want to do some maybe a session of volume, I can choose a lot of 7C or 7B, and like that I can find good boulders for that. And if I want to do a super hard boulder, my limit I can choose due to the grade. So that's cool. And then the other utilities, it's to legitimate performance in the highest level. Yeah, it's a way that strong climber can live from the sport. It's to do like maybe an enabled V17 or 9C route, something like that. So yeah, for sure, it's a super important element of climbing, and especially of climbing in the highest level.
But do you think for the highest level, do you think it's for the sponsors or to show that you're climbing hard in a way, or is it to, I guess, something more general to push the sport or something?
For sure, the sponsor have a good, have a good, big responsibility of that, because some sponsors say if you do V15, you have maybe 400 euros, and if you do a V16, you get 1,000 euros, and like that. It's you have some price. When the climber do a first ascent, if you have a sponsor like that, he will put the highest
incentive to
exactly.
But then that's also interesting because then you have like we said, incentive to grade higher, but you often seem to downgrade many. Not everything, but
because due to the thing that if boulder have a high grade, it's due to sponsor and sponsor of the guy who do the first ascent. It's really often. For example, when we try Soudain Seul with Simon say always to us, it's never 9A, it can't be 9A. If you do a V12 and a V14, so both can't do 9A. I'm sure it's 8C plus. And when he did it, he said 9A. Why? Because he do a super good movie, and if you want to sell a movie, like for example from Real Rock, if he say I do a movie from another IC plus in the world, Real Rock say no. No way. And if you do, I do a movie of the second 9A boulder of the world, it's not the same.
No, I guess that is a really big part with the sponsors, and
Yeah.
maybe with Instagram and all of this as well,
Yeah, of course.
to make it all look good, so you can. And I don't know if that's a bad thing necessarily. Like you have to. It's good so you can continue climbing, I guess, and keep your sponsors and stuff. But yeah, I guess it's also important to that it's correct in some way, that you're honest with it. And
Yeah, it's if we want that the system of grading work, we have to be honest, because otherwise it can't work. And for example, now when I see on the social media that someone do a new 80 plus boulder problem, I don't know. It can be 8B plus, 8B, or really 8C plus. I don't know. So for me, no, it's just a game. And yeah, and it's a shame.
Yeah, I guess it's very like individual as well.
Yeah.
If some boulder might feel super hard to you, and others might feel really easy.
Yeah.
But maybe because of that, there's a bit of inflation like going on in the gradings. That there's a lot, because I know
sure.
I heard something. I think Will Bosey, he did Alphane, this 9A. I heard something he said like, oh yeah, if Alphane is 9A, then maybe Burden of Dreams is 9A plus, and it all gets upgraded in this way.
Yeah, but it's strange because Burden of Dream is the first 9A of the world, so 9A they have to be like Burden of Dream because it's the first, it's the reference.
Yeah.
It's not the good order to make a reference and then change the reference.
Yes.
We need to change the boulder after the reference and not the reference.
Yeah. But there's been like a trend with upgrading. Like Living Large was put up and then it was upgraded, and it seems to be a trend now that it's upgraded. I wonder if that's because of sponsors and stuff, or if it's just that it was harder.
Yeah, we never know.
Yeah.
We never know. But main of the cars are for sponsor, I'm sure.
What do you think of this with the social media and putting up stuff on Instagram and?
Well, not. I'm on Instagram, but if you want to live or to win some money with climbing, you need to have Instagram. It's not an option; it's an obligation.
Yeah.
It's a shame because it's not the only way to show your performance. But it's like that, and why not? Why not? But it's a shame that it's the only way to have visibility for the sponsor. For example, my sponsor this year they have ÖVRIGT.
Yeah, ÖVRIGT.
ÖVRIGT, and they say if you are between 0 and 10,000 followers, you have 10 euros. If you are between 10,000 followers and 25 followers, you earn 10 euros. And like that, and you agree.
Yeah.
And
you go and buy followers on.
you go buy followers, or when you do AB, you say, "Oh, I do 8C," and then you have more followers, and then it don't make sense.
No, that's it's tricky because I like people who are real, but it's also difficult to be real or to be honest in that way.
Yeah, super difficult.
But so speaking of this, I know you climbed a bit with Charles Albert.
Yeah, a lot.
to me he seems very, very like authentic.
Yeah.
He does his. What have you like learned from climbing with him?
Yeah, it's true. It's the most authentic climber I've seen.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the strongest boulderer I've never seen.
Yes.
And he hasn't sponsor and he just climb, live in his cave. So
Yeah. Does he actually live in a?
yeah, sure.
He does.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, it's super inspiring because he climbs for himself when he do some hard boulder. You
Yeah.
don't need to post on Instagram or to say to other people, I do a super hard boulder, look, I'm
Yeah.
super strong. No, you just climb and what you want to climb, and something you do like 8C, and you don't say anything to other people. And when you go, you say, oh, the other time I do this boulder, I think it's like 8C or 8C plus, I don't know. You do, oh, really sharp. And it's super inspiring, and I think he's a happy climber.
Yeah.
You don't need to prove anything at other. Yeah, I like.
Yeah. I actually met him once on this trip when we lived in the car. And then we were in Cresciano in Switzerland, and my friend tried a Dreamtime, and we saw someone come walking up the hill,
Yeah,
and it was Charles, and he had taken the bus
yeah,
to there, and he had like a bag of rice with him, and then he slept under the
yeah, exactly.
slept under the boulder. Yeah, it was really cool. If someone asks you, where do you try and take the hardest way up on a rock out in the forest?
Why I want to do harder?
Or like, if I guess someone who's not climbing, maybe
Yeah,
if they ask you, like, you know, we're out in the forest, there's a small rock you can walk up on the backside, but we
yeah,
choose to try and climb the hardest. Why?
yeah. For the same reason that maybe someone want to explain. Yeah, to run the fastest as possible is for push our limits and to accomplish something that you work on it.
Yeah.
And then the happiness is super high when you accomplish something that you work a lot on it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the only things. And then you have also the good part to try it with friends and to laugh about it. You have a physical, you have a physical aspect. So, yeah.
So you recently went on a trip to Grenoble in Swiss, I think.
Yeah.
And I read Lucien Martinez. He wrote a little article about it. In this, he mentioned that maybe you used to fall off the end of things, but now you seem cured, like being able to keep things together.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a key to that, or is that just something that happens?
Yeah, no, for me it just happened, and then you are in a good mood, a good mood, and when you feel confident because you do a hard boulder, a good performance, then you fall less at the hard last move.
Yeah.
It's a question of confidence for me.
Yeah.
When you are happy in your life, confident, you don't give a shit of your route. So you say, oh, if I fall at the last movement, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
I have did a lot of strong things before. And like that, you give everything and you don't have pressure. And you fall less at the last hard move.
Yeah. It's strange how the key seems to be to care less, to not care so much about
Yeah, it's a good key to care less about the results.
Yeah.
Really, if you just enjoy climb and don't give a shit of what happened, you will reach your best level.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a perfect place to finish. So thank you so much for taking your time and talking to me.
You're welcome, with pleasure.
Yeah, it's very much my pleasure. Thank you.